Hey everybody, I'm Nerdstalgic, and you are watching another episode of Sorted Mapping Series. So, what we're going to be doing for this particular video is a level 71 map called Phantasmagoria. Some of you may already be familiar with it, some of you may have ran it and had success with it, and some of you may have ran it and thought it was okay until you got to the end boss. The end boss can be a bit of a brick wall for certain builds. So what we're going to do is we're going to run it and talk a little bit about what you're going to see in the map if you haven't seen it before. You know, like what to do with the boss, and we're also going to have our traditional identification at the end of the video, where we'll kind of sort through the loot that we got and see if we got anything good. So because this is a level 71 map, we're not going to be chiseling it. We're just going to basically alchemy it. Okay, so 70% quantity, not bad, but not great. Increased area effect, okay. Avoiding assassins. Yep. Firing 2 additional projectiles. If you know anything about the boss, which is a unique Stygian Revenant, those are the spider-looking things from Act 4 that summon the. They summon black skeletons, and they have the explosion effect from the skeletons, and also they shoot out that kind of like a, not a cone, but kind of like a wave of like ice shards. That firing the 2 additional projectiles is going to make that boss a little bit of a pain in the ass. I still think this build should be able to do it. I guess we'll see. 40% monster fire resistance doesn't bother my build any, but it could be something that your build would have to take into account. And the monsters themselves will deal an extra 51% damage as fire. So I think we're going to run it. We're not going to Veil Orbit. If it had ran Twinned, I might have considered it, but being that it's level 71, I just don't feel like it's worth trying to drive up the quantity that much. I mean, at best we could get level 73 maps out of it, and level 73 maps are currently pretty cheap on warbands. Let's make sure. Okay, so some wisdom scrolls, some veil orbs, regal, yeah. Okay, we are ready to go in. So the tile set for Phantasmagoria is basically, as you can see, based on Belly of the Beast and the Harvest, which I think it's very well done. It hits all the right notes in terms of atmosphere and creepiness and gore. So, oh, and I forgot to switch back to my main weapon. That would have been potentially disastrous. So I'm just going to whirl and blaze around here. Now the great thing about Phantasmagoria is that it does have a lot of twists and turns to it, but by and large it's just a long hallway, which is great for mappers. It's very easy to navigate. You don't have to go through the boss, love. Not really too sure how these large bull monsters got into I suppose he ate them. I'm not real happy about seeing the chimeras in here. That is like my kryptonite in this build, because of the fact that they have suppressing fire, which makes me shoot slower. The slower I shoot, the less I leech, the less I leech, the faster I leech. But the fact that this is only a 71 map is probably going to negate any of that. The boss, I think, might still be challenging. I'll have to be on my toes. Big monkey. Now, so there's a Stygian Revenant right there. It's not the boss, of course. It's only a blue mon, but kind of gives you an idea of what the boss is. It's just a unique Stygian Revenant that basically is like a Stygian Revenant on meth, coke, driving around and getting to the doorsteps, basically. I always open up all these cocoons ever since I got an exalted one. Even not really expecting a whole lot of loot out of this because the quality is pretty Thus, also, if we do end up incurring the wrath of the additional which has been happening fairly This map is delightfully gross, I think is what I called it. When I first saw it, I was doing actual blind. I didn't play any in the beta because I didn't want it to be spoiled for me. When I first got to Belly of the Beast, I was doing a playthrough with a friend of mine, and it was very spot on in terms of what I would expect. Great job in this area, the ambiance, the atmosphere. Perfect. Very well done. Hello. So, she's going to be doing all of what that one just did. Hitting hard. Imagine this, ice. By and large. Kind of like Gorge, but inside something with a nasty stomach. What am I thinking of Canyon? I always get Canyon and Gorge backwards. I use them very often. They're both very good maps. One of them, particularly, is the one that is kind of just like a long haul that climbing around. That's going to help out our item finding project. Just having minimal.
I need more pockets.
We'll rearrange it a little bit. Can't fit the helmet. And once more with does have a pretty big mouth, a really voracious appetite. Something. Kind of reminds me of the trope, like playing MMO games. Like in World of Warcraft, my very first character was a rogue, and one of the things that I really enjoyed was pickpocket. You really couldn't get much out of it. It was so much fun. And you pickpocket, you go pickpocket something, and it would have you get a watermelon. Like, how does this thing have a watermelon in its pocket? Like, it doesn't even make any sense. I understand you have to spend your disease, but at least try to figure it out. So, when we get to the boss, I'm going to try not to just absolutely rail the boss if it looks like that's going to happen, because I kind of want to do a little bit of exploration around the area to show you something that I think is true. To be honest with you, I haven't ran Phantasmagoria an awful lot. By the time that Phantasmagoria hit, I was already sort of past this level, and it doesn't really seem to get captured. So I think that could be the boss. Yeah, okay, that's the boss. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of run around here. It's got some mutants with it. But this is the boss room, and as you can see, it's a circle. So what a lot of builds where they have problems with this boss is because she likes to stay at range. So unless you can close distance very quickly, I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna come up. And actually, for me, for my build, it's good to do this on both. Get above. Yeah, as you can see, it wasn't really a problem for my build, but you can see where it would be a big problem for builds maybe that don't have enough AoE to deal with all the ads, or for builds that can't get around very quickly. It could be very troublesome. So the main thing to keep in mind when you're dealing with her is just know the surroundings and try. I mean, it's kind of like a theme with all bosses. You want to try to deal with any of the ads she has around her that she won't resummon before you actually deal with her. Otherwise, you're going to have a huge mess of stuff. Like, if I hadn't have led the Mute Winds off and tried to deal with her before dealing with them, it would have been much, much more difficult. Because those, especially with those warband packs, the AI is a little bit more aggressive, a little bit better about trying to kill you, so, yeah. But overall, I think that this is a pretty damn good map. Carry that bow. Got some small stuff up here where we can take the bow there, and we'll grab this scroll of wisdom. I guess we could rearrange some stuff here. Should be able to get something else in here. We'll just grab this shield. We'll have to make one more trip back. We can get a whole lot of loot, but maybe the loot that we got, there'll be something that's worth it. We did get a Gambler Divination card. Oh, lots of larger items here. Forget about that bow down there. We're gonna have to make one more trip, and that should be here, so we can actually identify. This is about the amount that I would expect out of that quantity. But if we had not had the Mute Winds in here, yeah, it wouldn't have been near this much. A lot of that loot came from the boss and the Mute Winds. Probably half, maybe even 2/3 of it came from them. So just imagine if we hadn't have been doing the 4 dots. And that's, I mean, and that's a good point too. You know, is, you know, as a new player who's, if you're struggling to actually make some currency, chase the 4 dots, follow the 4 dots, because all you're doing basically is adding free loot to your map. As long as you can kill those mobs, you're just adding loot into your map for free. I mean, you know, so I mean, I think that's probably a pretty good way for a new player to try to maximize and get the most they can out of maps. I mean, I'm not what I would call like a veteran, super veteran, elite player, but I'm not a new player, and to be honest with you, most of my mapping, oops, ooh, that's a lot of life on that. Most of my mapping is just chasing those 4 dots, because you're gonna have more loot, and also, what if you get one of the warband uniques, especially the rings? If you end up getting a ring, I mean, those are worth. I mean, people were paying very, very good money just to identify the rings. Closer to the start of the league, probably people aren't paying as much now, because the reason those people were paying is because they were trying to get to the first 50 so they could get that reward. Alright, so let's see what we've got. Okay, we have this blue chest. Shield could probably take another resist, but it does not really have enough armor or life to make it worth investing anything into. It's a shame on this that the IPD and the flat weren't better. Could have been better for sure. And let's get something here. Okay, really that good. What's this?
What do you need?
Some decent stat rolls on it, but people typically like to get their stats off of their neck. That's where people like to get their stats. Having like maybe one stat on something is not a huge thing as long as the other affixes are there, but usually just more than one stat on anything other than a neck, and it makes it really hard to get other mods on it that are decent. It's eating up all
Another
that
day
mod
in the
space.
land of pain.
Stats are suffixes, and so are resistances. There you go. Alright. Well, that's interesting that has 109 life on it. You know, what we might do with that is we might... You know, it's a possibility that we could regal that just to see what it rolled onto it, and it would be a good candidate for master crafting. I mean, the item level is a little low, 73. We'd like to see it be a little bit higher so they can get into some of the higher tier affix rolls, but still not bad. That's a really good life roll too, but it's got a bunch of shapoopy on it too.
Another day in the land of plenty.
Or the best thing that we've seen is the blue chest that I accidentally identified. That's really funny. Never aggro about seeing a belt, that's for sure, because belts can be kind of hard to find. I don't think I need one right now. In fact, I am full on my chaos recipe, so I need to probably make some chaos recipe. Yeah, I could probably make a few. Some of these rings. Alright, and then as far as the rest of this stuff, basically I'm just going to dump it into where it goes. I guess I'll let you guys hang around and watch this gavel go blue. So we will let's stone it up and then chance it. And yeah, so hello Chisel. Anyways, so that was Phantasmagoria. I hope this video has been enlightening for you. Maybe you've learned something new. Just let me know what you think. If you have any questions about anything, feel free to leave a comment below, or also contact me in-game at Nerdstalgic. I would love to hear from you. And even if you don't have a question, if you just want to say, hey, just hit me up. I'm always down for a little chatting or trading. So I'll be back at you. Maybe tomorrow or maybe the day after tomorrow with another sorted map video, and who knows what it'll be. It will probably be something that is 4-dotted, because that's pretty much what I look for. Say, well, have I already done a video about this? If I haven't, then if I don't have anything else going on, I just throw down. Until next time, game on.